Good Friday, everyone. Thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of Wave Extra on this August 1st. We've been talking a lot about what we'll say is the story of at least looking forward to the weekend. Just the great fall-like temperatures, weather, despite a little bit of haziness with that smoke coming from Canada. But otherwise, the storm tracking team letting you know, make the most as we get closer to really enjoying the weekend. And we're off on a Friday night. Looking forward to Saturday and parts of Sunday, so make sure to join us. Meteorologist Ryan Hoke going to break that down for us, of course, on Wave News at 11. Appreciate everyone, by the way, joining us now to spend a little time catching up on the big stories of the day on the Wave Now app through your smart TVs, on all our different social media channels. Always appreciate you spending a little time with us in the Wave Now studio. So, looking ahead to more school districts, more families, getting in that mindset to just be ready to go back to school, add that routine. For a lot of us, it's an exciting time thinking of, the fresh start of the new school year, hanging out and seeing friends after summer break, what the different subjects are going to be like. So as we've talked a lot about a lot of you, JCPS students getting ready, students at Moore High School, we're not quite sure what the extent is going to be, if they're going to notice the smoke and the fire damage that was done, unfortunately, to parts of the building because a fire broke out inside the school earlier today. I want to show you some of the images we were able to see from what our photographers were able to record. So we learned fire crews had to go to the school's medical arts building at around 6:30 in the morning. No one was hurt, but leaders say there's minor damage and, quote, quite a bit of smoke damage. No word, at least at last check for us, if it could impact the first day of classes for Moore High students and teachers. But Louisville's Arson Bureau is taking over the investigation just as a precaution, though officials are not releasing any more information to our knowledge yet about the fire as they get as much evidence as they can. So something to keep in mind as we go through more of tonight's top stories. And this next one has to do with a man who police were looking for. Apparently he was wanted for shooting 3 people in the Park Hill neighborhood sometime in June. And in the end, he appeared before a judge for the first time today, and we were able to get that arraignment hearing on camera as well. According to police, 18-year-old Isaiah Settles had shot not just 2 children, but 1 man on West Oak Street that time. All 3 victims survived. Settles did enter a not guilty plea. He was also put on a $250,000 bond. If he should post bail, he'd be placed on home incarceration, but a judge also ordered him to stay away from victims and to not have or be near any guns. He is set to be back in court on August 11th. And now to more reactions, especially for folks who live around the Highlands, because we're kind of waiting to see who, if when, would step in to buy the Mid-City Mall property and reimagine it in their own way. So we think changes could be coming just based on what documents are revealing. These are plans by a potential buyer. Could be to install their own idea for a grocery store, their own vision for retail shops. But we at least are wanting to check in with the people who live, work, and shop on this part of Bardstown Road, thinking about those potential redevelopments. If you remember, Mid-City Mall was put up for sale in November, and to that end, Wave News reporter Fernando Garcia Francescini asked neighbors about their thoughts on these changes.
For many people who live in the Highlands neighborhood, a visit to the value market at Mid-City Mall is a part of their weekly routines.
It's convenient and everything is just nice and fresh and pretty well priced.
I've been coming here since it's opened. And I think it's wonderful because it's a neighborhood store.
It's a neighborhood store with a now uncertain future. A law firm from Georgia has filed some new zoning documents that give us a look into what Mid-City Mall could turn to sooner rather than later. The documents propose new construction for a 54,000 square foot grocery store and 6 standalone retail buildings that total 53,000 square feet.
We have those big grocery stores around the city. We have plenty of them, but what we don't have a lot of is a local value market.
Mel Fisher owns Froggy's Popcorn in Germantown. She sells her popcorn at the Value Market and has gotten to know the staff there over the years. She says losing the Value Market would be devastating for the community.
Any large corporate businesses that come into the heart of this, that just means that the dollars spent here are leaving our city.
Fernando Garcia Faransashini reporting with that update. He did also reach out to the attorney's office that made the filing. They're the ones based out in Georgia. As of 8:10 tonight, we have not heard back that I'm aware of from that law office. The manager at Value Market also telling Wave News that their lease was actually extended until June of 2026. So they're planning to at least stick around until early summer of next year. So something to keep in mind there. I want to point everyone to this resource we have all the time that's updated, wave3.com, because I want to take you to now the top story, which is something I will keep checking back in on. And we just got wind of this around mid-afternoon. Pretty big considering the stakes for, the Ford assembly plant we have in Louisville and this reporting we've done of the economic engine and momentum that brings. But you could see now this is just in this afternoon that Ford CEO hinting at a new EV, electric vehicle platform, to be revealed. That visit coming up on August 11th. As a reminder, you can always get the latest breaking news, headlines, updates, stories here that, start with a national scope, but affect here folks in Wave Country. That is there. You can always scroll up and down on wave3.com, find the different tabs and categories, have those push alerts sent right to your smartphones, and all the different ways you can, of course, connect with us at any given time. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break just to reset some things, and we're going to touch on more of those stories and updates tonight on Wave Extra. So stay with us. Welcome back to Wave Extra on this Friday night at 8:14. More headlines, stories, and updates for you folks checking in as we sort of decompress and, look forward to, enjoying the rest of Friday night and looking forward to the weekend. But an update for you all as you're joining us on the different modes and channels. We do now know when the very first medical marijuana dispensary here in Kentucky is going to open. And as we'll play a little video for you just to discuss what it is that they'll be cultivating or at least processing there. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear saying it's going to be the Post dispensary in Beaver Dam that they're expecting to open their doors in the fall. The governor giving that announcement Thursday on social media saying, quote, it's another step forward as we work to ensure Kentuckians with serious medical conditions have access to the medicine they need and deserve. So this was a question a lot of people had been wondering, when was that timeline going to start? That was a question, by the way, that I'd brought up in my sort of investigation and report with Kentucky State Auditor Allison Ball, as you know, she has some audits open, and this was sort of looking into how the application process had gone for Kentucky with medicinal cannabis, and perhaps that was one of her critiques to the governor's office in how long or why it was taking so long to have that timeline for dispensaries to prepare those who had been approved through the lottery that could at least get the ball rolling on that. So as a reminder, you can scan through my reporting, all of Wave News Wave News' reporting we have on the medical cannabis lottery after its legalization, what to expect now. So we heard the fall. We're not quite sure what exact day or month that's going to be for the post dispensary, but once we do get word of that, we will let you know that is the case. All right, we have more stories. We have more stories to share with you there as we mute that little piece of that particular video. But in case this is a new scene, a new visual for you all, it may not be, of course. It's considered one of the world's largest one-day barbecues and a political institution. Tomorrow marks Kentucky's 145th Fancy Farm Picnic. Although the celebration is underway, perhaps you already have been involved in kind of getting it ready for tonight's purposes. So the blessing of the meat held this morning, followed by a fish fry, the 1 mile 5K runs and raffles, a little bit of everything to do. The main event starting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. That's when the barbecue goes on sale with games, craft music. The main attraction being political speakers later in the afternoon. We do know for this year, 3 Republican candidates vying for U.S. Senate are running to replace Senator Mitch McConnell. They're all going to share the stage for the first time. Those would be former Attorney General Daniel Cameron, 6th Congressional District Representative Andy Barr, and Lexington-based tech entrepreneur Nate Morris. Those are all names of potential candidates set to speak. And it is a fundraiser to raise money for the St. Jerome Catholic Church Parish in rural Graves County. So something we will, of course, let everyone know how that all plays out from the Wave News team over the weekend. All right, now to a story really kind of centering in on consumer headlines with grocery spending. We're learning now prices for beef and steak have actually reached an all-time high, but experts are indicating consumers should not expect relief anytime soon. They're pointing to some contributing factors like droughts, for example. So again, rising cattle prices, and some are looking at a potential for wider spread tariffs. So Lauren Miner has this story with some insight from Georgetown, Kentucky.
Beef prices have been steadily rising over the decades. And with prices now at a record high, people are looking for ways to save.
So there's some advantages and ways to kind of plan to save those dollars, and sometimes that keeps those extra trips from the grocery.
Jessica McQuaid is with Triple J Farm in Georgetown. The family farm has been serving the community for over 20 years and focuses on providing healthy and fresh products.
Our beef is whole process, so you're getting a single animal per package, so it's not a blend.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average price of a pound of ground beef rose to $6.12 in June, up nearly 12% from a year ago. The average price of uncooked steaks rose 8% to $11.49 per pound.
For us, our prices are set yearly. We set our prices. We kind of know what our processing costs are going to be, and we can't see into the future, right? So we don't know what the beef market could be. And so for us, we're in this for the long haul.
At Triple J Farm, they raise their own cattle and work with the local processor. Jessica says they sell ground beef at $7 a pound, and that number has stayed consistent over the last several years.
We stay consistent with our pricing for the year, offer different packaging sizes for people to allow them to buy in bulk and save a little bit of money.
And before visiting the nearest grocery chain, look into shopping local.
And then talk to those farmers, see what their prices are, and see if that's something that your family can afford. Maybe you do look at buying a package, you've never done that before. And then instead of buying individual cuts every time you go to the grocery, maybe you have a 4-month stockpile already in.
And so that update there from a report in Georgetown. If this is something you are interested in looking for local options, there is some resource available through Kentucky Proud for finding beef producers in the area. They say they have their website, kyproud.com. That way, consumers can connect to farms and farmers markets that would still help them find some quality, affordable meat as an option there. It is 8:20 tonight. We're going to reset, come back with more headlines and stories on this edition of Wave Extra. We will be right back. All right, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to Wave Extra. Here we are, 8:22, and looking at a sun setting behind the downtown skyline thanks to our SkyTrack camera system. A little bit of breeze shaking the cameras there, and you might notice a little bit of the haze. Meteorologist Ryan Hoke letting us know, confirming it's just a factor if you notice that some of the haze is coming from the smoke from Canadian wildfires, so it is making its way down here. But notice, look at that number for the temperature on the right bottom corner of your screen. If it's hard to believe, now there is an evening. We're talking high 70s to spend some time outside. This will be the weekend to really take advantage of maybe going to hang out and, be responsible and throwing those parties, but just enjoying nature, enjoying time outdoors. As a reminder, we're going to break down not just the weekend forecast, but the 10-day forecast, because not all good things last forever. In this case, just letting us know we're still in the middle of summer, but Ryan will help guide us through all that coming up on Wave News at 11. So we're going to bring ourselves back inside the studio with more updates on the stories we've been sharing and checking in on through the afternoon. One of them being the police arrested 3 people for 2 separate drive-by shootings. This all happened in Clarksville. I want to show you graphics we pulled up with some of the images police had shared. 18-year-old Jeray Coleman, 19-year-old Jalen Belser, and 21-year-old Quindarius Belser. So police arrested the group of 3 on Wednesday. Now, officers say the first shooting happened November 10th outside the Cop Lane Food Mart. A second incident happened at the Rallies in Clarksville, March 26th of this year. And police say both of these were targeted attacks toward a specific individual. All 3 suspects are now charged with attempted murder and criminal recklessness. Clarksville police telling us these arrests could actually lead to additional charges from other agencies. So moving on to another update. This feels like a little bit of deja vu. And right now at 8:24, you might know somebody who will get stuck or just have to find a different way to move around, because the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet closing the right lanes of I-65 North around hospital curbs. So we talked about the weekend prior, southbound improvements and upgrades. Now it's the turn for the I-65 northbound lanes around Hospital Curve. So hopefully you're not stuck trying to find your way where you need to go. You were able to find a detour. But again, this is all part of a bigger improvement project to repair the expansion joints, fix what are frequent pothole issues in the area. So the northbound off-ramp to Brook Street at exit 136A, which you might be familiar with from your commute coming into downtown, that is going to be closed too. Crews are hoping to have everything back open and ready by 5 o'clock Monday morning. So as you're coming in for your Monday morning work drive, transportation leaders say they're planning future closures along Hospital Curve because there's more work to do. They're going to share that update on when exactly that is happening coming up at a later time. And I want to take you to something that kind of broke as we were in the middle of our 7 o'clock newscast, or at least able to share a good video for you all to see what's going on here. Take a look. We're following what was breaking news because this massive tree broke apart, fell, and damaged 6 homes in the Wyandotte Oakdale neighborhood. So that puts a perspective for where this all went down. We're told this happened on Longfield Avenue, right across the street from the backside of Churchill Downs. Louisville Fire got the call to go out at just after 4:45 this afternoon. They got word that the large tree had collapsed on Longfield. Crews eventually, you see they're standing outside. They found the massive oak tree split apart and fell, branches and all, on 6 different homes in the neighborhood. But leaders, crews there telling us nobody was hurt. Nobody was trapped inside the homes. LG&E is on the scene at last check that we could see, checking if there were any utility dangers for the neighbors around. I want to remind everyone that as we get all that breaking news, an excellent resource is checking the website, wave3.com, downloading the Wave News app, the Wave Weather app to get those push alerts for anything that's important that you need to know sent directly to your phones. We're going to take another break just to talk about an update in our What's Good series, and maybe this is something you all might have missed out on in line in NULA. We're talking about what seems like a viral demand for a local cheesecake maker and just how much attention that is all getting. So we're going to be right back here on Wave Extra. Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to leave you with one last thing. Let's call it a sweet dessert-like ending for us as we kind of get to chill for Friday night, looking forward to the weekend. And it's a small business success story with a little bit of delicious history, a lot of hard work involved. So maybe you've heard of what's going on closer to downtown on Main Street. January of 2023, Big Nita's Cheesecakes. It had been a food truck when it first started out, but eventually had enough money to buy out a space or rent out a space on a storefront on East Main Street. And today, apparently, thanks to a lot of, goodwill and good word, spreading that word on TikTok and social media, people around the country are now lining up for a bite to sell out whatever the stock is. So Wave News reporter David Mattingly has the story in this edition of our What's Good series.
The doors didn't open Friday until 1 p.m., but Kathleen Free got here at 9:30 to be the first in line.
If you want to get what you want, you have to get here pretty early.
In this case, the early bird gets the cheesecake. Big Nita's cheesecake, as seen on TikTok.
Y'all come out and grab some of this deliciousness?
Just the posts themselves are good enough to eat and adorably honest.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like biscuits. And I don't want to hear none of y'all say, I'll take them. These things are rock hard. Y'all ain't eating these.
Now, this local sensation has gone national, thanks to mouth-watering reviews like this one from Luke Foods.
So silky, an absolute explosion of strawberry. And check out this whipped cream.
The result of all this attention, daily sellouts, with lines down the block.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I had Ava hop out the car real quick so I could go find the parking spot.
And I ran over here and got
We're like, oh my God.
It's all for cheesecake that lives up to the hype. Co-owner Nicole Burke says every month now feels like Christmas.
It's something that, like, if you're having a bad day, you can kind of get you something, like, take the edge off, That's how I kind of look at it. You can literally make anything into a cheesecake. You can do savory cheesecakes. You can do sweet. I think folks just like them because they're just enjoyable.
And word is getting around. Julius lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm a cheesecake fanatic, and I'm here for work. So I'm not sure when I'll be back again, so I might as well take the opportunity and just enjoy it.
On this day, being early definitely pays off. First in liner Kathleen Free is also the first to congratulate Burks on her success.
Rags to riches, right? Rags to riches. Not quite yet there, but I'm going to get there. That's all right. Have a good day.
Thanks, Nita.
Hopefully I didn't make anyone extremely hungry. I'd say, no time is too late for dessert time. But that is just yours truly's opinion. Great to see that. And again, this is something we're looking for more great stories to tell through our What's Good series. So great to see, finding that success. If there's ever somebody's story you find particularly unique, special, something that shows just, the unsung but still great parts around living here in Wave Country, love for you to reach out to us. Those different ways you can connect by phone, email, reach out to us just on social media. We'd love to go ahead and spend some time with the folks that really would build up the true spirit of the What's Good series, I would say. As a reminder, everyone, we do this every Monday through Friday, starting at around 8:05. So appreciate those of you who have still joined us. If you're doing that through the Wave Now app, through your smart TVs, if you're doing that right now through Facebook, Twitch, X, YouTube, always appreciate your time because it is precious. Just catching up on all today's big events, important and serious to discuss, but also the things that would put a smile on all of our faces. That's going to do it for us tonight. Again, make sure to join us for Wave News at 11. We're going to have some work from our reporters working hard, Logan Perone, Julia Richardson, Ryan Hoke walking us through what's going to be a top 5 pick of a summer weekend, and understanding that the heat and all that humidity is going to come back eventually, but just understanding when it's going to come. Those rain chances, of course, also good to keep in mind. Always feel free to reach out if there's ever any of those stories. Again, as we say, the different channels you can connect with us on Wave News. We are there to make sure we will reach out and contact and just go through that as well. All right, I'm Jose Sosaya. Appreciate everyone joining us tonight. We will see you on Monday.